Alrighty, in this video I'll be showing you how we're going to create the first two Trammel toy parts. We're going to go ahead and click create and then new document. I'm going to go ahead and name my new document Trammel toy. We're going to click create. Now all the parts that we are creating for the Trammel toy we're going to keep in the part studio. I'm going to go ahead and rename this, and the first part we're going to be creating is the screw slider block. So I'm going to go ahead and rename that. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and depict this, and I'm going to actually create this on the, let's go with the top view here. So we're going to go ahead and begin with the top view. What I'm going to do is I'm going to use the center point rectangle tool, and I'm basically going to create the bottom part of this screw slider block. So this, in terms of the depth here, is going to be 0.734. In terms of this overall width, it's going to be 0.875 times 2. So I'm going to go ahead and write that in because we know that there's a center line down here. The other thing that we're going to end up doing is I'm also going to end up creating some chamfers on this in the end. But for right now, we're going to go ahead and create this rectangle. We're going to press the extrude tool. Now what I want to do is I want to extrude this by a depth of 0.355 inches. So we're going to go ahead and do that. Now, we've got just this little rectangular prism. What I'm now going to do is click on the top of this rectangular prism, and I'm going to create a new sketch. So this is going to be the second part of this. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and click here, and then I'm going to click here. So I know that this needs to be coincident. The end of this rectangle needs to be coincident with this line that we've already created. So what we need to do now is we need to find out, well, what is the actual depth of this going to be? On the multi-view drawing that I'm using, it says from this distance from here to here is 0.141 inches. So I'm going to go ahead and do that now. I want to make sure that this is also the case. I see that that is. I'm going to press escape on my keyboard now. So now we're going to go ahead and press the extrude tool here again. And so now I'm going to put in the overall height. So I know that the overall height is 0.844, but now I've got a minus the 0.355 that we've already went. So we're going to end up with a depth that's going to be equal to this value, whatever that is calculated out. We're going to press the green check mark. Now, as we've said, we've actually got to go in here and we've got to apply the chamfer tool in different areas. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and apply the chamfer tool. Now, what I know is that this is equal distant, and because it says typical, and so this is going to be 0.125 inches. Now, the entities that I'm going to chamfer is going to be right here, right here, right here, right here. We're also going to go over to this side, right here, right here, right here, and right here. All right. So we're going to go ahead and green check mark that. Now what I can go ahead and do is I can end up creating a sketch. Now I've got to create the actual hole that's going to go on the top here. So we're going to use the center point tool. I'm going to specify this diameter as 0.177 inches. So now we press the green check mark. Now, this is where you can do things a little bit differently. I can do this, and I can do the extrude tool, and I can remove this. We're going to go all the way through just like that. The other option is there's actually the hole tool in Onshape as well, so you could use that. That would be where we just specify a particular point in a sketch to create the hole about. Either way works totally fine. All right, so now that we've got that created on this top part here, we are going to go ahead and continue. So on the bottom here, I want to create a sketch. What we've got to do is we're going to create the little hex cutout on here. So what I can end up doing is I can use this inscribed polygon, or we can also use the circumscribed polygon. I'm actually going to use the circumscribed polygon for this tool, for this sketch. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and create this, and I'm going to actually have it oriented just like this. Now, in terms of this hexagon, we're going to want to make sure that we have, for this, 6 sides, right? So I'm going to go ahead and click. We want to make sure that this says 6. If you press escape on your keyboard, you can go back into this. You can adjust that if you get a different number. But anyways, what we need to do now is I need to specify the distance. I'm going to use the D dimension tool. I'm going to press D on the keyboard. I'm going to go from here to here. Now this we can specify, this is supposed to be 0.386 inches. So I can go ahead and type that in. And then what I want to do is I want to use the extrude tool once again. Now I don't want to add, I want to actually remove. Now the remove distance, or the depth that we want to remove, is actually 0.255 inches. So we're going to go ahead and type that in, and I'm going to green check mark this. And now what we've just created is successfully created the screw slider there. Hope that was helpful. If you got any questions, comments, concerns, drop them in the comments. As always, like, comment, and subscribe. See you all later. Bye-bye.